to Monday Night Rants on the Better Sports Network. What is going on, everybody? Somebody has a case of the Mondays. Well, that's the way the cookie crumbles. And, well, Bob's your uncle. Rants on the Street with Thomas Stevens. Shout out to my producer, Tyler Heavy T. Soto. Boom. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Monday Night Rants on the Better Sports Network. That's at Better Network at all your favorite social media platforms. I, of course, am at Edward Raus at all your favorite social media platforms. Tonight is the night. Tonight is the night. The moment we've all been waiting for. It's finally here. We all get to watch one shining moment. I kid. Obviously, the NCAA Men's Basketball National Championship is about to go down here in about 18 minutes. So tip off. I'll give you my pick. Some stats. And who I think is going to reign supreme. By the way, reign supreme. Reign is the main theme of tonight's show. Joining me tonight will be at Heavy T on air, a.k.a. Heavy T himself. He'll be joining live from the FanDuel studios as always, going over what say ye, Heavy T. And talk a little bit of WrestleMania with him, what happened yesterday and on Saturday night. It was something to behold. Thomas Stevens will be joining me as well. We'll be doing Rants on the Street as normal. We're also going to talk some UFC 300. Big UFC fight this weekend. 300. We'll give you our picks, our bets. We'll have some fun there as well. Oh, I'm getting excited. I'm going to a bachelor party this weekend. I'm getting too old for these things. Bachelor party. I'm almost 40. But here we are. Going to South Lake Tahoe. Gonna have a lot of fun. So I will actually be in South Lake Tahoe for UFC 300, which means, that's right, I could live bet. As I'm watching at the Golden Nugget, right across the border there in Nevada. It's going to be a hoot and holler. Let me tell you. All right, without further ado, it's time for the rant lines. We're going to have some fun with the rant lines tonight. We always do, but we're going to have some fun tonight. Obviously, the big news is what's going down right now. The Men's Basketball National Championship. It's already over. March Madness is already over. It seems like it just started last week, doesn't it? But here we are. The final. The big men between Edey and Klingon from UConn and Purdue have been absolutely amazing. The big men in general have been really the highlights of this year's tournament. But these two have been outstanding. Edey made history, passing the great David Robinson after beating NC State of 5 straight 2010 games in the tournament. Larry Bird, Blake Griffin, Shane Battier, and Armand Gilliam each posted 4 consecutive 2010. But Edey now stands alone on top of that platform. He's been great. A lot of people are on UConn tonight, and I can see why. Last year, UConn ran through the tournament. They've run through the tournament this year as well. Purdue's run through this tournament. Both teams are undefeated against the spread in the tournament. So something has to give. The public loves UConn. It's moved all the way up to -7, where it stands now. So if you want to get a late bet in here, I'm going to help give you an edge, a little bit of an edge. Here's how crazy this game is on paper. Points scored per game this year, Purdue 82.9, UConn 81.56. Spider-Man me. Field goal percentage 48.9 Purdue, 49.7 UConn. Spider-Man me. Free throw percentage 71.94 Purdue, 74.23 UConn. Advantage nobody. Total rebounds 40 to Purdue, obviously with Edey, to 38.92 with UConn. So what I look at here, and if Purdue has any chance to win the national championship tonight, one thing has to happen and one thing only. They have to make the 3-point shots. Because Purdue, in 3-point percentage, is ranked number 2 in the nation. UConn, number 72. Look at the UConn defense. They're ranked 46th in the nation, covering the 3-point percentage. That's going to be what Purdue has to do to win tonight. They have to make their threes. That's it. This game is going to come down to if Purdue can make their threes against that perimeter defense that UConn has. If that happens, Purdue wins. Because Klingon and Edey are very, very, very similar matched in this. It's going to be really, really fun to watch. It's going to be bringing the ball into Edey. He's going to have to kick out, and someone's going to have to make a three. That's literally what I look from all the stats, the only way Purdue can win. Everything else is too even and in UConn's favor, except the 3-point line. Edey's been a monster. He's averaging in this tournament 15.4 rebounds a game, 1.8 blocks, 28 points, and his free throw percentage is actually up in this tournament than it has been throughout the season. But Donovan Klingon's also been a monster. How much of a monster? How about 3.6 blocks per game in this tournament? 16.2 points, 9 rebounds. So these two are going to be at war, at odds in the paint tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Some old school, grimy, inside the paint basketball. Kicking the ball out and hope your threes hit. Every pundit, every bettor, everyone out there, everyone on Twitter who thinks they're professional bettor, everyone on their mom.com thinks UConn has us in the bag at -7. -6.5, now -7. I think Purdue covers the spread tonight. That's right. My official pick. But Edward, what gives you the right to do so? Well, I bet against the spread on every game in this tournament so far. Every single game. And my record this year is 40-22. That's right. If you just took all my picks and put $100 on each one, you would be up over $1,400. $1,400 and $200. Yeah. $1,042. There you go. You'd be up 40-22. So give me a little bit of credit, because it seems like I'm the only person in the world that's taking Purdue tonight. And I'm even sprinkling a little bit on the money line. Now, Hurley knows how good Purdue is from the 3-point line. But what do you do here? Do you defend Edey? Double team him when he gets the ball in the paint? Let him kick out to an open three? Or do you defend the 3-point line and let Edey and Klingon go one-on-one? Rebound battle there would be Edey, by the way. And Klingon, by the way, hasn't faced anybody like Edey in this tournament. Can he block Edey? I don't know. So it's going to be fun to watch. But my official pick tonight is Purdue to cover the 7-point spread. Put it on the board. It has nothing to do with the fact that my grandpa graduated from Purdue. I promise. All stats. I just gave them to you. I just gave them to you. We said rain was a theme. The end of an era is a theme. Tonight, the end of another era. Caitlin Clark played her last game for women's college basketball in the NCAA tournament. Not a bad way to go out. The TV viewership for Iowa and South Carolina. By the way, shout out to South Carolina for winning. More on that in about a minute here. Stay tuned. Insane. The broadcast peaked at a whopping 24 million viewers. 18.7 million is the viewership rating. And obviously, it's the best of women's basketball of all time. And I would even count WNBA in that. It's also the largest audience for any basketball game. Any. Men's or women's. College or professional. Even the NBA Finals. Since 2019. Pre-pandemic. That is absolutely insane. So shout out to that. And again, shout out to South Carolina for winning. We kind of saw this one coming, right? South Carolina is just a bigger team. And Caitlin Clark pretty much had to be perfect because they literally got out-rebounded tremendously. Offensive rebounds for Iowa, 7. Offensive rebound, aka second chance opportunities for South Carolina, 18. They out-offensive rebounded by 11. There's the game right there. That's how it was won and lost. It didn't help that when they got it to within 4 in the final 5 minutes, that Caitlin Clark would go on to miss 5 straight shots. And they would lose by 13. So, shout out to South Carolina. A great story. We thought they were done and they were rebuilding, and here we are again. Undefeated season. It's not easy to do. But look at Caitlin Clark. She never won her national championship. The number one team in the WNBA draft is already selling out home games. Fever. And the ticket prices are going wazoo when she's on the road. We don't know how she's going to translate to the WNBA. But the WNBA has had a problem for a long time getting viewers. And even before all this, Sabrina Ionescu and anybody. Sabrina Ionescu was getting viewers when she was at Oregon. Then the pandemic killed that season. Oregon would have probably won the national championship that year. So we'll see how it translates. I'm sure it'll be fun. But if she goes through a run where she's not playing good basketball in professional basketball, not college, against better, bigger women, you see a downfall of Caitlin Clark's era. And it all comes down if she can make her threes from the logo, because that's all we want to see, right? So it was fun to watch. It was great. I watched. I enjoyed it. But it's even for me, I'll probably check out a couple of her first WNBA games, but the transition is just going to be insane. And it's just going to be tough for me to go. So her story in Iowa ends. And her story as the number one pick in the WNBA draft will continue. And we'll see what the next chapter has to offer for Caitlin Clark. But I applaud her for everything she did. All-time leading basketball scorer, men's or women's, in history. It's incredible what she did. And hopefully the WNBA can take it and actually run with it and actually make it something, and which they've failed to do in the past. So here we go. Speaking of a good story, more on this with Heavy T, but WrestleMania over the weekend was incredible. I'm not even a big wrestling fan. I'm trying to get a little into it because Heavy T is really into it. I'm talking really into it. But Cody Rhodes, who's a great person out of the ring and actually in person, or, you know, in his personal life, if you will, took down Roman Reigns, who's had the belt for like 4 years. And he's now the new world champion of the world. So shout out to Cody Rhodes, Dusty Rhodes' son, for winning in what was a fun event. The Rock was there. John Cena showed up. The Undertaker. Yeah. All you 90s kids, The Undertaker showed up and chokeslammed The Rock. But I said, more on that later. We're talking about end of eras, the end of reigns. Here's one for you. We all knew that this was going to happen, right? I was surprised he wasn't fired. But John Calipari is obviously leaving Kentucky to go to be the coach for the Arkansas. I say it how I read it, people. Razorbacks, 5-year contract. Now, it's a surprising turn of events considering he's been at Kentucky for so long. Obviously, he's going to be a Hall of Fame coach. But man, has he really, really struggled lately. He's been in with the Wildcats for 15 seasons. With 4 Final Fours, he does have the 1 national title. Anthony Davis and that really good team. And this year, he had the number 1 recruiting team in the nation. And yeah, we know how that turned out. Kentucky hasn't made it past the second round of the NCAA tournament since 2019. Nope. They lost to Oakland. It was literally probably the biggest upset of the tournament. Surprising. Maybe the Auburn Yale. That was pretty crazy too. But obviously it was a mutual thing. You got to leave Kentucky. You're not getting it done. But now one of the most prestigious basketball head coaching spots is available for anyone to take. And there's Jay Wright comes to mind. Ex-Villanova coach. Very successful. I know he's doing broadcasting now tonight, but I mean, shout out to him. If he wants it, it's his. And that's where you want to go. So, a really good opening there, and bye-bye, Calipari. Arkansas is where you'll be coaching for the next 5 years. He'll have some recruiting. He'll get some freshmen in there. But will they be good enough to compete in the... No. I don't see Arkansas being a number 1 team in the next 5 years, no matter how good of recruiting he does compared to what's going on in the landscape of college football. This one's fun. Have you guys been following this saga? Have you been following this saga? Rashee Rice, wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs. Apparently, he likes road racing. And it was in the middle of the day. He had just had a lunch or something with his mom, his family, and he rented a Lamborghini and a Corvette. And him and his friends went out there and said, hey, let's go race in Texas. What is he doing? What is he doing? What is this? A lot to take in here. Obviously, he just had under an ounce of marijuana that was found in the car. After that crash, by the way, if you didn't catch it, he went to the left in the lane to the left and tried to get around the car, hit the barrier, came in and hit everyone. 10-car crash, just like that. Like I said, he had under an ounce of marijuana in his car. And he left the scene on foot with all of his friends. There's video of it. Here's what's crazy. Obviously, he was speeding on a freeway with marijuana in his car, street racing. How is he not arrested already? If you and I did this in our hometown on a freeway, I'd be in jail. And the difference between life and death is crazy. He could have killed somebody. What if he hit just a centimeter to the left and the car spun just enough to another car hit and someone died? Then we have all a Henry Ruggs situation here. It's just crazy how you could go that close to possibly killing someone from acting like an idiot to killing someone Henry Ruggs and a dog and be out of it completely. I think Rashee Rice should be penalized just like Henry Ruggs. Because 1 centimeter of a difference for what he was doing, how stupidly he was racing a car in the middle of the day in traffic, in a lane that isn't a lane, hit a barrier and came in. 1 centimeter of a difference could have killed the person in that car. And he deserves to be penalized just as much as Henry Ruggs, whether he killed someone or didn't. Just my opinion. But don't act stupid. And he should be in jail. Now, I heard today that there are charges coming down on him. Charges that could be 2 to 10 years in prison. And everyone's, oh, he's a celebrity. He's going to walk out of it. Well, hopefully he doesn't. Because it's just pure stupidity at its most. When you're a role model for kids, just won the Super Bowl. I wish you nothing but the worst, Mr. Rashee Rice. And hopefully our good old system works, huh? Our good old judicial system. Heavy T is here, live from the FanDuel Studios. We're going to bring him on. We're going to talk some WrestleMania. But first, this.
Trying to strike out the side. He won't get it. Dior Meadows throws away his glove. Backflips. Catches the ball. Are you kidding me? Mr. Meadows, you've gone mad.
The only way to do the backflip catch better is to do it with the bare hand. And Dior Meadows, the king of the backflip catch in the outfield, nails the trick play for the Bananas. What a play! One of the greatest trick plays of all time!
If not the greatest. Are you kidding me? The pride of Vidalia, Georgia impresses every step of the way. We get a game.
That was the best baseball play I've ever seen in my life, and it's not even funny. How cool is that? The Savannah Bananas are the best, man. They really are. They really are. Right, Heavy T?
They're pretty cool. I think the best part about that clip is the pitcher, like they show his like stats, whatever, and the bottom says once said I love you to his coach. That's hilarious. That's actually really funny.
They're actually coming to Fresno here on May 4th.
I did see that. Yeah, that should be pretty cool.
I will be a best man at my best friend's wedding, unfortunately.
Oh.
And last time they came, we went out of town for my wife's birthday. I am still owing whatever when it comes to seeing the Savannah Bananas live. But man, what a show. They got fire. They're throwing fireballs with balls on fire. They're flipping bats. They're doing, it's just if they come to your city, don't hesitate. Go. It's better than the Harlem Globetrotters, I'm telling you.
Yeah, the fact that these dudes could sell out. When they went to Houston, they did it at Minute Maid Park, and the park was sold out. Like 40,000 people went to go see these dudes play.
Yeah.
Like they're that cool. They're that big of a draw. It's fun. And honestly, here's the other thing too. You never know who's going to show up to these things. Yeah. When they were in Houston, they brought out Josh Reddick, Roger Clemens, Roy Oswalt. I've seen John Cena come out. I've seen there's another dude whose name is escaping me.
Jeff Francoeur. I saw the
Jeff Francoeur. Yeah, Jeff Francoeur. That did come out. And I think one of the old Red Sox came out, something like that. But yeah, you never know who you're going to see these things. They're pretty cool.
Speaking of John Cena showing up, my friend.
Yeah.
What an incredible weekend of wrestling. Now, little backstory here. I was really into it in like the late 90s, in the 90s when I was a young little lad, and The Undertaker was wrestling. I remember Razor Ramon, the Hart brothers, Shawn Michaels. You know, this is my era. Sting.
Yeah.
This is my era, right? And then NWO or whatever with Hulk Hogan, all that stuff happened. It was and that's kind of when I kind of went kind of away from it a little bit.
That's fair.
But you've been talking up a big game over here, Heavy T. A big game. I saw the Sting thing because I wanted to see Sting retire because he was my favorite wrestler when I was a kid. That was awesome. I watched WrestleMania over the weekend, and it was a cool setting in Philadelphia at the Link. It looked insane. And I don't know why you would spend so much money to sit way up there and see nothing because they put a roof over the top of the.
Yeah. Well, okay. So to be fair, if they have it at an outdoor stadium like the Link, they will put the roof up just in case, weather, all that stuff. If they do it at an indoor venue, which technically it's not a full indoor venue, but last year was at SoFi.
Yeah.
So me and my brother went. Now, because there's a roof over, there's no roof over the ring. So you could see everything.
That's awesome.
So, but yeah, no, I think when it comes to these shows that are once a year, especially this big time WrestleMania one, if it's coming to your town, splurge a little, get closer seats. It's more fun.
Yeah. So I missed the one in Fresno here. There's another one coming up. I think AEW is coming to Fresno too soon. So I'm actually gonna go check it out. I actually loved it, and my daughter was watching and she loved it. She's now a Bailey fan.
Yes.
And now I gotta buy her. Now I gotta buy her Bailey merch. Thanks for that, Heavy T. She didn't call her Bailey though. It was the blue girl. I want the blue girl to win. I want the blue girl works. To win.
The blue haired girl works.
Yeah. I loved it. I'm not gonna lie. It was from the very get go. The first match with McIntyre versus Rollins was great.
Yeah.
Both the ways they came out to the ring were incredible. The Highlander with the blue paint as Braveheart and all that was great. A great fight. I was kind of rooting for Seth Rollins. He obviously lost, and then some dude came in and threw a briefcase over him, and you had CM Punk involved. And
yeah,
I had to text you and say, "What just happened? Can you explain what just happened?"
Yeah, so for those who don't know, so every year since I think 2006, WWE has one event, and it's called Money in the Bank, okay? And this is personally one of my favorite wrestling stipulations ever. So the goal is that it's a ladder match. There's a briefcase hanging basically from the ceiling, and you have to go retrieve it. Inside the briefcase is a contract that says this is good for one title shot at any time of your choosing. So the winner brings the briefcase down and they hold it and they pick their moment and they attempt to cash it in. Okay. And if you do cash it in and that bell rings, your title shot's right there and you better take advantage of it. Because there are some dudes who have cashed this thing in and they lost. You're done. So it's fun, man. Damian Priest had held this thing, I think, since like May of last year. So he's held it for a while. And McIntyre just kind of gets in CM Punk's face. And they've had beef since basically the Royal Rumble. So they have a whole thing going on. So CM Punk like basically beats him up a little bit. McIntyre comes in, cashes in. He's the new world champion. It's fun, man. It was such a good show.
I like CM Punk's commentary was incredible. He was so funny.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Totally.
He's like, and who are these guys with the swords? And CM Punk goes, nerds.
Yeah, nerds. Punk is great, dude. Punk is one of my all-time favorite wrestlers. I love that guy. But yeah, man. So, like that was just the opening of the show. And keep in mind, this was also night 2 of WrestleMania. I don't know if you got a chance to see night 1.
I just watched clips from night 1 because night 1 I had the Final Four going. I had the Final Four, obviously, and stuff going.
Yeah, night 1, they had to battle a little bit out with the NCAA Final Four. That's fine. It happens. But yeah, night 1, so let me go back to night 1 real quick. What opened the show? Rhea beat Becky for the women's title, which I was more than fine with. I love Rhea. She's elevated that title. She's great. That happened. Let's see. There was a tag team match in there somewhere. The six-pack tag team challenge where they hung the tag belts above the ring.
Yes.
That was pretty cool. That was really good. I really enjoyed that. It's a nasty little spot in there too. So one of the dudes basically did like some form of pile driver onto a table on the outside, like just jumping from the ring onto it. That was crazy. So that match was pretty good. There was another tag team match that was between the women, basically made to showcase Jade Cargill. That was great. She looked great. Trying to think. You got the Intercontinental match between Sammy and Gunther. I'm a Gunther stan. I love that dude.
Every time I think of Gunther, that name, all I think about is the guy who worked behind the counter at the coffee shop in Friends. Like,
yeah. It's funny. You're not the only person that's made that reference that I've heard of.
Do you know any other famous Gunthers? No, just the guy from Friends.
Yeah, just that guy. Any other famous Gunthers? Let's be honest, they're probably not good Gunthers.
Yeah.
German name. Anyways.
They're not famous anymore. At one point, they may have been.
They're more infamous, if anything.
Yeah. They changed their name to Jose and live in Argentina now.
Yeah, exactly. They had changed their name. So yeah, no, that Intercontinental match was great. Great storytelling. I feel like I'm forgetting a match that night too, but
well, obviously the big one was the tag team between
the tag team match, just
The Rock and
great match all the way around. And I love the fact that match basically set up the match for the next night.
Yeah,
because the thing
Bloodline rules. Now explain Bloodline rules to everybody if they don't know.
They called it Bloodline rules. What it really is, it's just no disqualification. So basically anything goes. And that's what it was. Anything went in night 2. So we'll get to that in a second. But that first match on night 1, the tag match between Cody and Seth versus Roman and The Rock.
It was a great match.
Great match.
I did watch that in entirety. It was awesome.
Yeah, it is the second longest match, I believe they said, in WrestleMania history. I think it went about 44 minutes.
Yeah, it was long.
So that match went pretty long, yeah.
I pretty much, when the replay came up on Peacock, I just fast-forwarded straight to that.
Dude, honestly, I almost did that. So the funny thing is, I didn't see night 1 live. I had a baby shower I had to go to. I had to come back to work after the baby shower. So I didn't start seeing night 1 until maybe like 9:30 Pacific time. So I finished this thing close to like 1 in the morning. So yeah, but no, night 1 was great. And then night 2 opens with, like we said, Drew versus Seth. Great match with a great cash match right there.
Yeah.
Awesome. Got a nice little Philly street fight with Bubba Ray Dudley as the guest referee.
Yeah, that
was pretty cool. I love a good street fight.
Because I'm pulling how many tables are under that thing, man?
That was funny. That's funny how many tables are under that thing.
Did you catch the mistake? It was meant to be the first one when they put him on the table to put him on the table. It and then they had to kind of go and say, "Oh no, we didn't."
But the thing is,
they pulled it off though.
They played it off really well. They're like, "Oh, okay, well, we'll just go get another one." That was great. The match between Ray and Andrade versus Dominic and Santos was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I thought that was going to be a very simple, hey, I'm going to go use the restroom real quick match. I actually ended up sitting through it. It was pretty decent.
Roughly when I was cooking dinner, to be honest. So I kind of
that's fine. That one's more background noise, but it was played really well. So I was like, couldn't really complain with that. Let's see. On top of that, the U.S. title match with Logan Paul.
I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
I love Logan Paul as a WWE icon. I think it's great.
Yeah.
He's, by the way, how fast and how good of shape he is and how talented he is to be a WWE wrestler is very impressive.
Yeah.
He looked like he's been doing this, and I mean for years.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, like he's not the best person, I guess, like outside of the ring, because
no, of course.
I mean, everybody knows.
He's a YouTube guy who would prime, and
But I will say, I think he's definitely the more likable of the Paul brothers. I can't stand Jake Paul.
Yeah.
I actually hate Jake Paul.
But
Logan Paul, he seems like he's actually pretty chill.
When Logan came in with the prime truck and was shooting whatever he was shooting,
that was pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty sick.
Oh, this is a little silly. He's getting booed, and I'm like, I hate this guy. And then
because everybody knows that he got famous from the YouTube stuff. And I think he said, so when Jake was starting to box, Logan's like, oh, I want to wrestle. Well, the difference between the two is, and I'm not saying Jake can't box. I'm not saying that. But Jake faces a lot of these older guys that are, they're kind of past their prime. Logan is doing it wrestling with current dudes, and he's going toe-to-toe. He fights really well.
He looks good too.
Yeah. He plays the part. He plays the heel perfectly. He's solely invested into this, and I think that's why I respect him. I definitely respect him as a wrestler. Yeah,
I liked what I saw, and it was a lot of fun. And and just the fact that I knew when the Prime Bottle mascot came out, I'm like, somebody's in there. This is gonna be a part of this for sure.
So the funny thing is that that's kind of a repeat from last year. So last year was Logan Paul, I believe, his first WrestleMania,
Yeah.
and he fought Seth Rollins last year, and a
Mhm.
Prime bottle came down and was doing the whole thing. So the Prime bottle takes off the little mask or whatever, and it's KSI, the guy who basically does everything with Logan, like all that stuff.
Yeah.
So this time
So funny.
they take it off, and as soon as I saw the face, I was like, oh
I was dying.
I saw the face, and I'm just gonna say it's fucking iShow Speed, who I cannot stand.
Yeah, he's annoying as hell. And the
At
best
all.
part was they beat him up, and then the announcer was just going, I think iShow Speed is dead.
That was crazy because Randy Orton beat the living piss out of this dude.
Yeah.
Dude,
And Randy Orton's
just-
a big man, and iShow Speed is not a big man.
this dude kicked him so hard that like Speed goes flying across to the other side of the ring. And the best tweet I saw about it, someone on Twitter said that Randy Orton basically kicked him the way that Charlie Murphy got kicked when he was like kicking Rick James, and he like flies back and breaks the glass. That's exactly what it looked like, dude. Like I was dying when I saw that tweet. So I was like, okay, that's pretty good. And then on top of that, Speed is known for doing like some stupid like barking thing. Like he will literally bark like a dog.
Yeah.
So Randy Orton gets him up on the announcer's table, and he barks at Speed, and then just gives him a solid RKO on the announcer's table.
It was amazing.
It was
fun to
great.
watch. I loved it.
Great match. Yeah, great match. Kevin
What'd you
Owens
think
is
of
always awesome.
what'd you
The
think
match
of
just
Snoop
kills him.
Dogg? Snoop Dogg's commentary.
Dude, okay. I'll be
He was
lucky.
behind on everything though. He's like he'd punch him, be going, ooh.
Yeah, I mean, but that's just the way Snoop Dogg. Like
I
what
know
you
it was
get.
great. It was perfect.
Yeah, the thing is, he's hilarious.
Yeah, the greatest
Snoop
thing
Dogg
I've
is
ever
so funny.
seen is the Snoop Dogg doing the Discovery Channel Animal Planet or whatever.
Oh, dude, yeah.
That's
him doing that. I remember he did the Kings game one time in LA. Absolutely hilarious. Snoop Dogg, like I would let Snoop Dogg announce like anything he wanted. That dude
anything.
is
Yeah.
so damn funny. And he's really invested in WWE. He loves working with them. He loves watching it. Like he's really into it.
You and I, we're gonna go get some gin and juice.
Yes.
And we're gonna review it.
We
So
will
Snoop
review
Dogg and Dr. Dre has a new seltzer out there, gin and juice, alcoholic seltzer, and Heavy Tea and myself. And you can't cheat. You cannot try it until the show is on.
I will try my best with that. And I say this because
You could be drinking at work.
No, not next Monday, but the Monday after. Just a heads up, the Monday after I'm not going to be on the show. So, but the reason is because I'm coming back from Coachella that weekend.
Oh
right?
yeah, you're gonna be a mess.
Well, no, it's not even at the festival. So a buddy of mine, we're staying at his house, and this dude, whenever we come over, keeps his fridge stocked with everything you can think of.
And you're getting gin and juice.
We might have it in there. Last year we had some of those Pabst Blue Ribbon seltzers that have a little bit of the THC in it.
Nice.
Like those were really good.
Have you tried the hard Mountain Dew?
I've tried the hard Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
I've tried the hard Monster. The hard Monster is really good.
Those are
too.
good. I like those.
Yeah, those are good. Shout out to Menace, by the way, keeping your fridge absolutely stocked. Love you, bro. But so I might try it that weekend. But if I don't try it that weekend, then we'll definitely do it on the show. I just gotta find out where I do it first.
Okay, so 2 weeks. Well, good. Next week is the NBA playoff show.
Yeah, perfect. I'll be here for that. So, anyways, real quick, going back to
we got a big match we haven't talked about yet. I know you're running out of time. So
so we have two matches real quick. First off, Bailey versus Io Sky. Great match. Bailey won, who I've been a fan of Bailey for years. Number one, she's always.
Should I read the tweet that you sent me about Bailey here live on?
Oh, I'll say it. She's incredibly hot. So there's that.
Yeah.
That's one reason.
Yeah. There was more to it than that, but yeah. All right.
We'll leave the rest for now. No, she's incredibly hot. Number one, but number two.
And now my daughter's favorite wrestler. So there you go.
I mean, there's that. Okay, that's number two. Number three, she knows how to really connect with the fans, whether she's been a good guy or a heel. She knows how to connect, and like she's always putting in the work. Like I love Bailey, so I was really happy that she won. She's the new women's champ.
Yep.
And then the last match,
the highlight of everything, how epic the
Dude.
walk-ins were, the lead up
Yes.
to it. I'm
Yeah.
going to say, so this is the first WrestleMania post Vince McMahon era, right? Triple H in charge.
Correct. Well, completely where Vince McMahon had no presence whatsoever.
Yeah. Well, he's worried about lawsuits right now, so he has no. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's in a mess of trouble.
That's what happens when you do on someone's head and they didn't say yes. Okay.
Supposedly.
Allegedly doo-dooed on someone's head and they didn't say yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Thomas just came into backstage going, "What the hell are they talking about?"
No. So the match itself was great, dude. Just like Cody's coming down, and he faced Roman at Mania last year, and the bloodline interfered. Like I said, I was there. It was crazy.
Explain this. What is his story? Everyone says, finish the story.
So,
just get it quick and simple. Cliff Notes version.
So about 8 years ago, this dude was Stardust. That was his character. He was Stardust, and he was incredibly mismanaged. Okay, so he had been in WWE for maybe about, give or take, like 8-10 years at that point. He was incredibly mismanaged most of the way through. So he finally decides, screw it, I got to leave the company. So he leaves. He goes on the independent circuit, and he absolutely kills it. And he ends up creating AEW. He's one of the sole people responsible.
Is it his brother that's in AEW now?
His brother Dustin is in AEW. Yeah. So yeah. So he creates AEW, does his time over there, kind of runs out of favor with the fans over there. They kind of started to turn on him a little bit because they felt like he kind of got stale. So around this time, WWE's like, hey, you want to come back? And that's how you've made it as a wrestler. If you leave WWE and you don't come crawling back to them, they come crawling back to you. That's how you know you made it. So he comes back, WrestleMania 38, fights Seth, I believe, and then they have another fight at Hell in a Cell. Now, this is where it gets a little wild. Cody takes off his jacket at Hell in a Cell. His pec, purple as hell. Apparently, he tore his pec. I think it was during a match. I don't remember. But yeah, so he finishes the Hell in a Cell match. He is on the shelf for a little bit, comes back, ends up winning the Royal Rumble to fight Roman at last year's WrestleMania, loses because the bloodline interferes, and now wins the Royal Rumble again, gets a chance to face Roman, finally wins the title. Also should be known, it is the title that his dad never won, the legendary Dusty Rhodes.
Dusty Rhodes, yes.
Yeah, Dusty Rhodes fought for Vince in WWE, but never won the title. So he finally completed the story.
It was cool that his mom was there. His mom was there, and
everybody was there.
Yeah.
So,
but
on top
his mom knew right before the match that he was going to win. Can they tell family or no? That it's just completely kept in the dark.
You know what? That's a very good question. I actually don't know if they can tell family.
Because she was crying like she didn't know.
I mean, it's that, but I think it's the fact that like this is everything that like his dad also worked for.
Yeah,
and obviously his dad would be her husband.
Like the amount of effort and the work and everything you put into this entertainment business, right? It's like being a really good actor and winning an Academy Award. It's becoming the world champion, right? The number one.
I mean, essentially,
yeah.
So the thing that makes it even better, and I know Thomas is trying to get in here, so I'll make this quick. So the thing that makes it even better is that I did see the first hour of Raw tonight, so I did watch that.
All right, I'm gonna watch that.
Yeah, so Cody comes out. It's not a spoiler because nothing really happens, at least wrestling wise. Cody comes out, does his thing with the fans. The Rock comes out. Long story short, The Rock basically says, look, I'm here to give you your flowers. Congratulations, all that stuff. I have to go away for a little while because The Rock is still a very successful actor.
There's that too.
Yeah, there's that.
And I have the XFL in mid-season. And
UFL. Let's get that
whatever. Twitter, X, get out of here.
So The Rock says he has to go away for a little while, but he is going to come back. And he did tell Cody, it does not matter if you are the champion or if you're not the champion. When I come back, I'm coming for you. So they've already set up possibly the main event for next year's WrestleMania. That's the kind of thing. I think the fact that he said whether or not you're the champion leaves it open. Is Cody going to end up keeping this thing? What's going to happen?
For a year, he's going to have at least 3 fights, right?
Yeah. So like those little minute details, like like I said, whether you are or you aren't, adds so much to it. Because WWE at one time did basically say what the main event of WrestleMania was a year ahead, and it blew up in their face. That was like 10 years ago, also involving The Rock, ironically.
Yeah.
But now, like I said, with that little wording, it's open. It's up for debate. We'll see what happens.
Okay. Real quick before you go, we got to talk about the I know Thomas wants to come on, but we're going to have plenty of time to talk about UFC and Rants on the Street here. But the 2 minutes or 3 minutes that it was everybody coming on to the ring. You got John Cena coming on who looked like he's balding.
Dude, okay. I'm gonna be real. Okay, so this is what happens. So Cody hits the crossroads
3 times to win it, but yeah.
Yeah, but well, before that, so Cody hits the crossroads, then Jimmy Uso, Roman Reigns' cousin, comes out, basically super kicks Cody, knocks him out. Jey Uso, who is Jimmy's brother, also Roman's cousin, who is no longer with the bloodline, comes out. They spear each other off the side of the stage.
And there's a huge drop there too.
Yeah, which I was like, I saw that and I was like, oh shit, like that's actually a really big bump. Like,
yeah, you could tell when these guys actually get hurt and they try to make it like they're not, but like especially like you could see the welts and the stuff coming up on their body too. And it takes a lot, man. I was really impressed with what I saw. But yeah, keep on going.
Yeah, so that happens. So Reigns and Cody are going at it again. Cody is about to hit the crossroads again, and then Solo comes out. So Solo Sikoa is Jimmy and Jay's brother, also Reigns' cousin, and he hits him.
How many cousins does that man have?
Dude, he's part of the Anoa'i family tree. They have a big-ass family
Those are the Samoan brothers, right?
The Samoan dynasty, It's a big-ass tree.
The Rock, in a way, is related, not related to them as well. Yeah.
They're related, yeah. So Solo comes out, basically trying to get Roman to finish it. Roman comes this close. Cody breaks the pin. Then Solo's kind of freaking out, and then you hear the music, and John Cena's music comes. Yeah, he comes running down. So, little backstory: Solo beat Cena clean in under 5 minutes. The last time they had a pay-per-view at Saudi Arabia, which I think was in October, November. So that happened. So it's Cena basically coming back to get revenge on Solo and to help, save Cody, because he's also had issues with Roman before Cena started to do more Hollywood. Yeah. So that happens. And then The Rock comes out, and The Rock and Cena have history. Okay. Yep.
We all know that history. Who's going to be the better actor?
Well, yeah, there's that. But even then, they did fight for the title at WrestleMania 10 years ago. So there's that whole history. And then after The Rock comes out, he beats up Cena. Then you hear the music.
He took Cena out. Yeah, he took Cena out.
He took Cena out. Then you hear the music for the Shield, which is Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Jon Moxley, who's currently in AEW. That was their group when Roman Reigns originally came up. So Rollins comes in dressed in the full gear that they used to wear.
And immediately got taken out.
But there's some storytelling to that. So Roman was betrayed by Seth 10 years ago. A lot of things happened 10 years ago. Roman was betrayed by Seth 10 years ago by taking a chair shot to the back. And that's what broke up the Shield. So basically, any time Roman sees Seth, it's pretty much like on site for that dude, right?
Which was what happened. He came out of nowhere and jumped across the ring and took him straight out.
And took him straight out. So everybody's like looking around. The Rock is kind of like, okay, I got this. So he's taking off the weight belt while Cody's down. He's about to hit him with it. And then you hear the Undertaker gong.
Yeah.
And the whole place just loses
It goes dark everywhere. I was losing my shit in my living room.
Dude, it goes crazy. Dark. I was freaking out. I was like, what the fuck is happening?
I'm like, is he going to walk in? And then it goes light and he's standing. Sorry, spoiler.
Yeah,
you haven't seen it by now. He's standing right behind the Rock.
Yeah, he's standing right behind the Rock. Choke slams him. The lights go off again.
And he retired, right?
Yeah, he retired a couple years ago.
So there's hope that Sting can return for something. Okay.
We'll see. But, so then the lights go off again, and now the ring is clear. It's just Cody.
Yeah, that was crazy. When the lights go out again after he choke slammed the Rock, I noticed that. The lights go back on, and all these dudes, nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, so they're all gone. So there's 3 people in the ring. There's Cody, Roman, and there's Seth. Now, Seth and Cody are trying to get up. Roman has a chair in his hand. Like I said, anything goes, right?
Yeah.
He looks at Cody, and then he looks at Seth and hits Seth again.
He makes the wrong decision.
A callback to when Seth betrayed him. And like I said, it's just masterful storytelling because this dude cannot get Seth out of his head. So he turns around to finish off Cody. Cody basically knees him, hits him with 3 crossroads. 1, 2, 3. Masterful match. All-time storytelling. Like, dude, it's so good.
All right, rate it. Of all the WrestleManias, all 40 of them, what do you rank this one?
I have to, for the moment, I have to give it a couple days to settle. For the moment, I would put it as the second greatest WrestleMania of all time.
Okay.
I still have WrestleMania 17 or X7 up there because that has just some matches that are my personal favorite and have been that for basically my whole life. But this one I think is second. And who knows? Honestly, in a year I might flip that. It kind of depends on what happens. Yeah. But it was such a good show. Like, amazing show.
Okay. What say ye, Heavy T? All about WrestleMania. And guess what? The viewership stayed the same the entire time. That means they were interested in this. So I think we should do this.
I can't even see how many are viewing. So we're gonna.
Yeah. We didn't lose any. We didn't lose.
Good. Only thing
I liked it.
I loved it, dude. Only thing I have left to say, 2 things. Number 1, wrestling is all the fucking way back. So that's number 1. Number 2, took a week off from the blog I do about the NF franchises. We got the Seattle one up a little bit late. So we decided to let it bleed. However, the NFL draft is coming up. And so we are going to have back-to-back blogs on inept NFL franchises.
What? Hold on.
Let's get it on.
DMX is excited.
And I can tell you right now,
from the heavens.
The first one that will be coming out this weekend, and I'm already irritated writing it because they're pissing me off. The first one will be on the New York Jets, which is just an all-time disaster class.
Yep.
And the second one, the week before the draft, the weekend before the draft, the second one will be on the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah!
We're going to have some fun.
Yes!
We're going to have some fun.
We're doing a 2-hour show dedicated to the ineptitude of the Raiders. I will bring all my Raiders jokes. I got a lot.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be dead honest with you. You are gonna read the Jets one, and you're gonna probably want to dedicate a 2-hour show to that too. The Jets one is bad. I'm gonna be honest with you right now. There's 3 things I'm breaking down with the Jets: bad drafting, bad coaching, subpar quarterback play. I only finished the bad drafting section, and the shit is already 6 pages long.
Okay, well let's get that down a little bit more.
It's a doozy though. Like, it is so good. You will read it. It's incredible, dude. It's incredible.
Well, I will tell you what, man. I cannot wait. You can get all of his inept franchise series at MurderRants.com. Go to MurderRants.com. Not right now though. After the show, please.
After the show, yes. Also, if you want to find out which blog is the newest one, check out my Twitter. It is pinned on there at Heavy T on there. That's my plug. Shameless plug.
If you also go to MurderRants.com and click on What Say Ye Heavy T, it'll be the newest one there as well. But also,
it'll be the newest one, also with the oldest ones right behind it.
Correct. And yes, of course, as always, you need to follow at Heavy T on air on Instagram and Twitter. We have a lot of fun back and forth too. As if you like talking shit on the Angels, you're gonna love at Heavy T on air's timeline.
That one will come soon enough. That blog will come soon enough.
Anyways, all right, my friend. We'll get back to work. What a great WrestleMania. We'll see you next week, my friend, for the NBA playoff special. All right?
Later, man.
Later, brother. Heavy T on air from one Monday Night Rants. I guess OG to another. Thomas Stevens.
So, my man.
Sorry to make you wait a little bit, but we have.
No, you're good. I learned some stuff about the WWE.
It was fun, man. He had me watch it. We were tweeting back and forth because it was more me going, "What the hell is going on right now?" and he was answering.
It came out right. Undertaker, John Cena,
dude.
Rock.
It was awesome. It was actually a really entertaining and a lot of fun. And I have to pay for it because I have Peacock, so it was free. So it was even better.
Where was it at? Do you know where it was hosted at?
It was at the Link in Philadelphia, at where the Eagles play. So it was outdoors, and the stadium was packed. Wow. 70,000+ people all watching this live for 2 nights. It's pretty insane. Are you watching the NCAA tournament championship right now?
I was on my phone to the right of me. I'm looking a little bit.
28-25 UConn right now. So it's been really close to back and forth the entire game. There's 4 minutes and 48 seconds. So we'll do this show into the halftime so everyone can go on their merry way and watch the rest.
Yeah, no,
when we are done.
Be a good second half for sure. This was the matchup that I think like a lot of people wanted. You know what I mean? UConn dominant against Zach Edey. So I love it.
Yeah, they're up by 5 now.
What's he doing right now? Is Edey doing anything?
Edey is I've seen him do a couple things. Hey, I have the stats up here. I got to pull them up here. Edey currently is is he doing anything? He has 16 of their 25 points and 6 rebounds right now. So I'd say he's doing everything. On the other side, you got Klingon is 7 and 2. No one's in foul trouble really. Edey has 0 fouls too, by the way.
That's big.
But you got Diarra, Spencer, and Newton all with 7, 9, 7. So it's the team game for the Huskies working for them and all Edey on the other end. So that's not really sustainable at this moment. But because as I said at the beginning of the show, if Purdue cannot make threes, they're not going to win this game. They're the number 2 3-point team in the nation. That is the weak spot defensively for UConn. So if they just have Edey play the post, put the ball into him, he could kick out, make some open threes, you have a chance. Currently, right now, they're not doing that at all. So obviously, when Edey has 16 of your 25 points, that's not what they're doing. So. And they're losing by 5. So we'll see what happens. Of course, I'm excited. I did pick Purdue in the 7 points. So we'll see how it worked out. I went this whole tournament. I'm 40-22 so far against the spread on every game. So
solid.
Can't complain. Do we have actual rants on the street questions tonight?
I know, right? It's been we got a tough.
It's been a while. I feel like it's been it's been a good minute. And then after that, we'll talk about UFC 300
for sure.
And then next week
into it too. So
perfect. You'll be here next week for our NBA playoff show.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're gonna do the whole bracket with a play-in and all that good stuff, and
for sure
have a lot of fun in that moment. I don't know how you feel about your Lakers right now, but
solid. Honestly, solid.
We'll see what
anybody
happens.
but Denver.
Yeah, Denver, they're still all tied for the number 1 seed in the West. It's crazy.
Yeah, we know the truth though, man. Me and you know the truth.
Yeah, but I kind of hope like that the Timberwolves kind of sneak in and get that number 1 seed, so the Clippers won't have to play Denver till the actual Western Conference Finals. That'll be nice. All right. Rant on the Street making its return, which is every week staple. But we had the NCAA special. We had the baseball special. I was sick. You went snowboarding. There's a lot of stuff going on here, my Rants.
Been busy. We're back though with 5 good questions.
We're back. 5 good questions. And I'm giving away something tonight. What am I giving away?
I say a hoodie. Actually, no, maybe a hat. It's summer. People like hats.
We are getting summers. I'm giving away a snapback.
Yeah, there you go.
Monday Night Rants snapback.
Smart.
To my favorite question, by the way, I have no idea what they are. Thomas Stevens collects them over the week on Instagram at Better Thomas.
Yes,
on your favorite social media platforms. You can ask questions. I know I promised you a place where they could do on the website. I haven't gotten to that yet.
We'll get to it. It's cool. It works. It works.
Before football season. You know, that's the way it rolls.
Yes, sir.
All right. And if you guys have any thoughts on the questions, feel free to reach out in the chat and say what up. I see you watching. Get in the chat. We got one chat from one of our really good loyal listeners here, Jose Saldana, who's been here every week for the last couple of weeks. Shout out. He was talking about Rashid Rice doing stupid stuff. Oh, this is with the chats to do as well, but nothing worth talking about. All right, my friend. Question number 1 of Rants on the Street. Welcome back to Rants on the Street. Here we go. Let's go.
Yes, sir. We're going to start in the NBA world. I've seen this one spiraling around, so I'm glad it got asked. Right now, Defensive Player of the Year. I know he's a rookie, but do you believe that it should go to Victor, or do you think, Rudy Gobert snags the award once again?
Well, last year was Jaren Jackson Jr., which I predicted on the show.
He went off last year on blocks. He was crazy.
It seems like it's a block award.
It is 100%.
They don't count shooting percentage against. They don't count any of the stuff. It just seems like whoever has the most blocks wins this award the last few years. Ever since Ben Wallace, really.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, Marcus Smart was like the only and he's a great defender.
But he had an all-time steal year that year. and there was no really big blocker in the NBA at that time. So Wemby leads the league in blocks. Check this out. In October, when the season started, he averaged 2.3. In November, 2.9. From December to March, he averaged 3.7 blocks per game. In April, so far in April, 3 games in April, Wembanyama is averaging, this is not a typo, people. In 3 games, he is averaging 6.3 blocks a game. 6.3.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's insane. Now, is that, obviously that's not going to carry over the whole month. If it really have 1 week left anyways, and they're not making the playoffs. So, yeah. I do feel a little hurt because I do feel that quite possibly I lost my bet on my boy Chet Holmgren. For the first half of the season, it looked like we were the smartest people in the world at Chet Holmgren. And he still possibly could because their team could get number 1 seed in the Western Conference, and he's been outstanding. But these last 2 months, Wemby has been absolutely phenomenal on a team who's not winning any games at all. 0. Like, they're absolutely terrible. Garbage. Now, that being said, he's not in the top 20 in steals. He's not in the top 20 in rebounds. Defensive rebounds compared to offense, because defensive kind of, that's the defensive stat.
Yeah.
I tried to find a stat right now, and I can't find it on StatMuse because I didn't know what the question was, so I'm trying to find it, but I can't. But I'll look it up. But I want to know what the shooting percentage against is. Like when people pull up against it, what's the shooting percentage? Like, I know it's out there in StatMuse. I just don't have the time to bring it up. I will, but I don't think it's very good. So, but with the blocks, that does help. So, if it's up to blocks, sure. But let's look at the other block leaders in the NBA.
I want to say
that I could find quickly
up there.
Wembanyama is clearly the top block leader in the NBA with 3.6. Behind him is Brook Lopez, Walker Kessler, Anthony Davis, and Chet Holmgren, all tied at 2.4. So I look at that and I go, okay. And Rudy Gobert 2.1. Rudy Gobert rebounds 12.8. Obviously, that's where that stands. That's defensive rebounds. So him and Anthony Davis. So yeah, it's either going to be Wemby, Anthony Davis, or Rudy Gobert. One of those 3 will win Defensive Player of the Year. Put on the board. I don't know what the odds are, but look at the stats right now. One of the.
I think Rudy Gobert might be the favorite because I know he just slid into 1, I believe.
How though?
I think that's why the question's surfacing. I think that's why.
Yeah.
They said something about he slid into 1. I think it's crazy though. I think it's pretty simple. There's a guy who's averaging 6 blocks right now. I don't care if he's a rookie or not.
Rudy Gobert 0.6 steals per game. Chet Holmgren is 1. Anthony Davis is 1.2, and Victor Wembanyama steals per game 1.3. So all 3 of those guys better than Rudy Gobert.
Rudy Gobert, yeah. It's Wembanyama, man. I think it's pretty simple. Yeah. I think they won't give it to him because he's a rookie and it's kind of weird. He's gonna.
Why? He has the most blocks. He has the most steals.
No, yeah, 100%. I think
he doesn't have the most steals, but he's higher than the.
I think there's a reason I don't even know why they're giving it a conversation. You know, what I mean, because the NBA is giving it a conversation right now. Like they keep flipping back and forth between 1 and 2, between both of them.
Why can't you just give the award to the guy who deserves it the most? Whether he's a rookie, whether he's
because it's
6 man.
It's the NBA, I guess.
Yeah. So who's excited about Rudy Gobert?
Yeah, for the 4th time
this award because the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah,
because the Minnesota Timberwolves overplayed with. Yeah, they're going to be out of the playoffs in the first round.
He also has another 7-footer sitting right next to him.
Especially if they get the first seed and they're stuck playing the Warriors or the Lakers in the first round. Get out of here with this. And Rudy Gobert in the playoffs is nobody Gobert because he doesn't play in the playoffs. He plays. He's physically there.
Yeah.
But he sucks.
Rudy
in the
Gobert
playoffs.
has had about 5 first seeds throughout his career with Utah and now the Timberwolves. That's failed every single time.
Every single time hasn't even made it to the Western Conference Finals.
Yes, sir. So
get out of here with the Rudy. I say yes, Wemby can do it, but I like those other 2 as well. And Anthony Davis could be a sneaky one too because his stats.
He could. Yeah, I just think it's Wemby. It's a freak show right now what that guy's doing. Like, I mean, his blocks and steals prop is set at like 11.5, dude. Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but
Like,
he's also getting the benefit of the teams he's playing resting their best players against
no,
them.
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Because
They also their one-on-one defense isn't good, which leaves a lot of open drives.
these teams are resting their best players against the Spurs and Wemby, and they're still winning.
Yeah, no, dude, the Spurs, dude, Wemby,
Even with 6.8 blocks a
a
game.
These last like 2 weeks, I think Wemby's dropped like 38.
Yeah, no, because
36
everyone's benching their
Yeah.
players as these playoffs go. The East has already determined who's going where.
Yeah.
Like it's just this is what
I wish
this
both
ne-
of our teams were in the East.
This next week is going to be a shit show of
Mhm.
resting and league management, rest management, whatever the hell it's called. So
Good
all right,
value on DraftKings. Good value on DraftKings. All right,
Yeah.
number 2. You're gonna hate this one.
Cool.
What, as of right now, what do you see is going on with James Harden?
I don't know. Is this the most games we've seen James Harden play in a season in the last
Long time.
how many years?
A long time, yeah.
He started off over his head, and now he's under. Kind of, he hasn't had a good shooting. The last 2 games he's played, I believe, 2 or 3, he's been better.
Mhm.
Right? I think he has 2 games over 20 and 1 like 15 or something like that.
This isn't bad at all when on a team full of superstars.
Yeah, but last 10 in total, everything's been kind of down. His shooting percentage, his 3 percentage has been under like 27, 20. His 3-point shooting has literally taken a left turn this last month of the season.
Mhm.
And really, if you look at the Clippers season, when James Harden was balling, that's where they went on that run when they had the best record since January and all that stuff like that. When he's not playing, they lose. So he's a huge component to this team being successful in the playoffs. And it seems like he's getting it together these last 3 games, including a big win against Denver. They've won 3 in a row. They beat Denver in a big game without Kawhi. They beat Utah, and the comeback win from Cleveland was impressive. They were down by like 26 points and came back in the fourth quarter, won that game. By the way, if you want to know who's playing the best basketball in the NBA right now that no one's watching, it's Paul freaking George. The last week, he has been absolutely a monster. An absolute monster defensively, offensively, 2-way player he is. Paul George has been an absolute monster for 2 weeks, and he'll probably get player of the week in the NBA. But, yeah, so the Clippers, if he gets better and we get to the playoffs and against Dallas, I'm not worried about Dallas. Really. It was the Pelicans I'm worried about, but they've been slipping. So I think the Clippers will beat Dallas in 5, maybe 6 at the most if they had to. And the important thing is they actually have home court advantage in the playoffs for at least one series, which they haven't had in forever. So that'll be fun for the last year until next year. Their home court will mean even more. But I think Harden just wear and tear. He didn't play the fourth quarter last night. He was sitting when Paul George made that winning shot. Harden was on the bench. So they're kind of resting. They're kind of rotating and resting right now. Tyler's doing his thing. I think he's going to be fine. I think when he's going to show up in the playoffs, I don't know, like he did last year. Yeah, but they were pretty far last year, actually. But yeah, I think he'll be fine. I don't think anything's wrong. I just think it's just kind of wear and tear, and he's just in a slump. And he's played more games than he has in 5 years. And that's what happens in the NBA.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you. I think that when I look at this Clippers team, there's just like you said right now, right? Like Paul George is going absolutely insane right now. Of course, Harden's not going to go insane right now. And people in the NBA, they kind of.
And Westbrook is coming back before the playoffs.
Exactly.
Too, right?
There's minutes right there, right? Like there's Kawhi, still Kawhi. Like this Zubac is a baller. There's 30 minutes there, 28 minutes there. So what I'm trying to get to is it's like, people in the NBA, they jump to conclusions so quick that like, oh, this person's not balling.
I think if Terrence Mann played more minutes, he would be considered a defensive player of the year candidate. Marcus Smart style.
Yeah, no, I mean, Terrence Mann, for me,
he's one of the best defensive guarding
a lot of
guards in the league. Yeah,
for sure, a lot of value. Yeah, no, I think Harden's fine, man. I think the Clippers are fine.
Yeah, I'm not worried.
I mean, do I worry about Harden in the playoffs? A little bit. There's a track history. However, this is the first time I think that this is.
It's a little different of a situation this year for him.
Yeah, no, 100. That's what I'm saying. So there's a lot of guys around.
He's not the man. He's not the guy.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and there's a lot of checkups on the Clippers team, and he's got a great coach who manages him well. So I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be perfectly fine.
Let's go.
Yep.
From your mouth to my ears, baby. Let's go. I'll have to replace this Keenan Allen jersey with autographed Paul George right there. That's my goal.
You keep Allen. He's a legend.
I should just dye it blue.
Yes, just dye it blue. There you go. Speaking of the NFL, we'll go to the NFL. Number 3, do you think with the offseason moves that Philadelphia has made, do you still give it to the 49ers in the NFC, or do you give Philadelphia some credit?
Okay, so Philadelphia, their biggest moves, they've had some trades. They traded away people that obviously Saquon. They got CJ Gardner-Johnson back, which is a big move for their defense.
Mm-hmm.
But did they really replace anything that was the reason why they struggled at the end of the season? No. And now the 49ers did lose pretty much their defensive line in the offseason with Chase Young and Eric Armstead, but they also brought in the guy from the Bills, and they brought in some players too that kind of helped solidify that as well. So I don't think the 49ers got worse at all, even with losing Armstead and losing Chase Young. And I don't think that the really going from Swift to Barkley, obviously Barkley's a better player, obviously, but they got a little better, but the 49ers are great against the run. So I just don't. So I would say the 49ers still have it, man. Until I see it on the field, I don't think the Eagles got better or worse, So
yeah, for sure.
They're just the Eagles again. And I think they're going to struggle a little bit trying to figure out this identity now that you have a running back where you have to feed with Jalen Hurts, who's a kind of a run first quarterback, throw over the top, and everything that happened at the end of the year last year. I think they're going to still struggle a little bit to find their identity in the beginning of the season.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you. I think that the Eagles, I think what you hit on the nail was, did they get better at anything that they struggled on last year? And they did. They upgrade. The one thing that the Eagles stayed pretty consistent with, was their run game, and that's what it's been. And yes, you upgraded your run game, but that was already good. Your passing game was the game that
whoever you put in there. You had Boston Scott dominating 2 years ago in that run game.
You know what I mean? So you added Saquon. Yeah, the read option is going to be crazy, but at the end of the day, you still have the same passing problems. Is Jalen Hurts, is he able to make those throws in the clutch? Your defense, they're questionable to me. They got big name players, but
if I'm a defense, I'm not as scared as the Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts read option as if I was playing the Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry read option.
Yeah, exactly.
That is going to be an absolute wow.
No, 100%. Yeah. You have no.
How do I defend this?
You get power, you get speed, you get one or the other coming right at you.
Yeah, it's not going to be fun. So yeah, that was more impressive to me. I think that was a great fit for Derrick Henry. But yes, Saquon, right? And he also has the injury history.
Yep.
And we don't know how that's going to play out. And we also, the biggest loss, I think, for the Eagles, is going to change the whole landscape of their offense.
Kelce.
They lost Jason Kelce, their center, their chieftain, their man, like their captain, their everything. Huge loss. So even with Saquon Barkley, I don't think they got better. I just don't, because you got to fill that void, and you have not a very good draft pick. Yeah, this is a very good offensive line center year in the draft, but is a rookie going to be able to come in there? And no. It's just not at all. I mean, a lot of holes still in this Eagles team.
Yeah.
And even when they made that run 2 years ago, remember on the show, I was saying they're getting lucky. The Eagles are getting lucky in their matchups. They got lucky in the NFC Championship against the 49ers when Brock Purdy got hurt. Like they just got lucky and got lucked into that. And like last year, it showed. They're very inconsistent. Sometimes they look like the best teams in football, but the other 10 games, they're inconsistent. So
I think if you looked at it on paper, and you had no clue about how the Eagles actually play, then we could have a different conversation right now. But the Eagles, I think it's easy. It's
the one team who I think actually got better this offseason, kind of quietly. Even though they lost some players, we'll see who they get in the draft, but the Lions, man.
They
filled some holes on defense that they needed to fill, and they kept everybody. They kept this nucleus core that almost beat the 49ers. They should have beat the 49ers. in the NFC Championship last year.
Mm-hmm.
So one could argue the two best teams in the NFC, and I'm going to say this right now, I think the two best teams in the NFC right now, today, are the Lions and the 49ers. And I don't think it's close.
Yeah. Well, I think you got to give them the title. Like you said, I don't think they got worse. I think they got better. And they just made the NFC Championship. You know what I mean? And Dan Campbell, too. I love Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell gets his team going. They're not going anywhere.
He's a beast.
Mm-hmm.
We're at halftime right now, and it's a close game, as predicted.
I did actually forget an NBA question, so we're going to go back to NBA really quick.
Going back. Next week, by the way, the NBA special. Thomas will be on. We'll go over the playoffs. Does your buddy want to come on and talk some NBA playoffs, man? Get him on.
Possibly. Yeah, I don't see why not. He loves talking NBA. That's his sport, so why not?
It's going to be all. We're doing a full bracket for the playoffs.
For sure.
Full bracket.
He'll be down.
Full bracket, and we're going to have a little friendly bet between the three of us.
Sounds good.
See who has the best playoff bracket.
Sounds good.
Who wins? Okay, what's the NBA question?
Speaking of playoffs and a bracket, this person wants
playoffs. Playoffs?
Speaking of the playoffs, can Philly make a run at the 7th seed?
Playoffs?
With Joel Embiid.
Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
That's the funniest thing you've ever said. Can they make a run at the 7th seed?
Yeah, I got to throw that out there because I don't like Philly. So.
Well, they already are in the 7th seed spot right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, run completed. You made it. Congratulations. Now, can they get to the 6th seed? Their game back of the Pacers. So yeah, I guess they could get to the 6th seed.
I think it was like, they're asking, can they make a run at the championship? Being
as the 7th seed. I think they could get to the 6th seed because, but by the way, they do play the Pacers this week. So that game made
Joel Embiid, they can win.
So that game determines the 6th or the 7th seed pretty much. So if they stay out of the play-in, and then they got to face literally the 6th seed is like the where you want to be in the Eastern Conference because you get to play the Magic.
Yeah.
In a playoff. 7-game series.
Mm-hmm.
So if they get to that 6th seed and they do play the Magic and win, right? Then you get the number 2 seed. You don't even get Boston yet.
Mm-hmm.
So then you get the Bucks, which is winnable with Embiid and everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get the Celtics. So, yeah. Now, if they get the 7th seed and they get the Bucks first after the play-in, it's a little bit tougher. But, I mean, they can beat the Bucks. But then after that, they got to play. So, yeah, they can make a run. I mean, we saw the Miami Heat do it last year.
Exactly.
From playing all the way to getting
Yeah.
demolished by the best team in the NBA last year.
Mm-hmm.
So they could. And we talked about this team ad nauseum in the beginning of the season. We'll see how they do because they're going to have a 2-week stretch where they're terrible. And even with Embiid, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is they don't have a lot of depth anymore that they used to have. And a lot of role players have to continue to be good, especially in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So the odds are not great, but if they could get to that 6th seed, play Orlando, win a 7-game series, and then give it to the Bucks, yeah, they could make a run. I don't see why not.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that it's too easy of the Eastern Conference. I think if they're in the Western Conference, I'd tell you hell no. But the Eastern Conference is so open. Even Boston, I love Boston. I think Boston's going to the finals, but you still could beat them. You never know. Embiid's Embiid. You never know. They're not going to. Don't think I'm going.
It's going to be Boston against
bracket. 100%.
Yeah,
But I'm
too
just
much
saying,
of it.
like when you talk about the Eastern Conference, like the way you're, explaining the pathway with the 6th seed and everything like that. I mean, it is so freaking easy. And you have Joel Embiid. So, like as long as Joel Embiid performs and is healthy, you always have a chance to beat anybody.
But he's also coming off a long absence with an injury.
For sure. He hasn't really skipped a beat though, man. He came back and he's balling right now.
Yeah, I know, but again,
I feel and
it's really hard to take these last 2 weeks of the NBA season seriously. It really is.
Yeah.
Because you got how many 3-way players you're playing against who are starting? How many rest days are these guys doing? And especially when everything's pretty much all set.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously the game against the Pacers will meet a lot, but other than that, the next 4 games.
Yeah, for sure.
I
mean, my thing is, I'm like, he's Joel Embiid. You know what I mean?
Also
like,
true. He is the reigning MVP. He is the reign MVP.
So but they're not going to. Like I said, in my bracket,
Are you willing? If the let's say the Thunder do get the first seed after all this chaotic between the three of them the next week.
Yeah.
Does Gilgeous-Alexander win MVP?
I was actually going to ask you. I haven't looked. Who's the favorite?
If Denver wins, obviously Jokic would probably be. But I think whoever gets that first seed.
Is Jokic the favorite right now?
I'm not sure. Let me look it up.
I haven't looked at that at all. That's actually really
probably or Tatum.
Forget Tatum, dude. He's on an all-star team, dude. He's freaking with Kristaps Porzingis, Jaylen Brown.
No, it is Jokic is the favorite, followed by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Dude, I say yeah. If he gets the first seed, he solidifies the first seed. I say yes. Yes.
Jokic is literally minus 700 favorite right now.
Is that because they got him winning the West, or is that just because regardless of what they're gonna?
I don't know. Yeah, and then Shai Alexander is plus 2,000. So yeah, it's.
I'm not. Gonna
they have Doncic in there too at plus 550. I don't know.
I would sprinkle on Freddie.
And then Tatum. I don't know, man. If they like, let's say they win their next 4 games and they win the West by 2 games.
Yeah.
I think he has to be considered.
I think he is. I mean, Denver's got I know that it shouldn't really relate to it, but Denver's got a great team. And so do the Oklahoma City Thunder, don't get me wrong. But
they do. We've been talking about them since last year of the playoffs.
Yeah, hey, shout out that. Yeah, let me say that. I forgot about that. Shout out that. We've been calling this since the beginning of the season. This team is going to be good.
And we were right about the Pacers being good this year too.
Mm-hmm. It did help. Siakam did help.
That was
damn right though.
That did help, yes.
Number 5, dude, we're gonna go into it. I know you want to talk about it too. So this person kind of doesn't really have a question. He just wanted us to talk about it.
He doesn't have a question.
He did say Pieta versus Hill, so
Pieta versus Hill.
Hear the main event. But
I
just talk
cool.
about it.
We'll answer that. We will answer that. But let's go into our UFC 300 kind of picks, predictions, and then we'll do that one at the end because it's obviously the main event, and then he'll get our answer. I have mine. By the way, that fight's going to be crazy, and it's going to be strictly a kicking and boxing fight. Yep. There will be no ground game
at all,
and the odds are closer than you would think. So I'm just going to skip all the prelims. I know there are some very interesting prelims, especially when you got Qatar fighting Aljamain Sterling in the prelims, which is absolutely insane. Aljamain Sterling was just a champion last year, and now he's fighting a prelim. But let's just go to the main card here. Bo Nickel versus Cody Brundage. This is the most lopsided odds I've ever seen in my life. Bo Nickel is obviously minus Jesus Christ. Minus 1350. That can't be real, dude. Is that real? Obviously, I knew coming into this that he would be a very heavy favorite because he's one of the up-and-comers everyone loves.
Yeah.
But that is insane. By the way, Holly Holm and Kayla Harrison is also a prelim, which is crazy. Harrison's a minus 470 favorite. Sterling and the Qatar fight is actually close. It's minus 155 for Sterling. I'm probably going to take Sterling in that one.
So am I, but Qatar's interesting, I think. It is interesting.
Yep.
I do.
In the prelims, too, you also got Jiri, bet. Jiri is fighting Alexander Rakic, and I'm going to take Prokaska at plus 105. I think that's a good fight.
I think the money will move on him too. I think he might end up.
But Bo Nickel, there's no money in that. Obviously, he wins. He's 5-0 though. He's 5-0, so he hasn't had that much experience in UFC. But when he does fight, he's looked absolutely dominant and crazy. And there's really no money to be had here. He has a 96.77 win probability. If you place $10 on him, you win 50 cents.
Nice lock.
And yet you put that in the main instead of Qatar and Sterling. Come on, Dana White.
Do better.
Charles Oliveira. Arman Tsarukyan.
This one's interesting. But I got Oliveira.
Tsarukyan is minus 217 all the way to minus 230, depending on where you go. So Oliveira is plus 176, plus 190 at Caesars. He has a 68% 0.45% win probability, as in Toscano, and he's been on a great run lately, right? He's 21-3 overall. Obviously, Oliveira was a champion for plenty of years. He's been kind of a losing streak. He's won 1 out of his last 3 fights. Obviously, that was a big one because he knocked the hell out of Dariush, which was crazy.
Yeah.
And that was last year. So a tough one here. I'd be willing to see what the Toscarian odds are. I only have total fight odds here in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
That would be his knockout or submission before the end of the fight, to win by that, pretty much. Because you probably get a little bit better odds. I'd be willing to take that because he's been knocking people out lately, and Oliveira has not. So there's a chance that he takes one. And but it's a very interesting fight. Who do you have in this one? Are you taking Arman? Or are you taking Oliveira?
I think Arman does win, but I just think like I don't want to call him the best, but I think it's a great sprinkle. And when doing a DFS lineup, I also think it's a great option for an underdog value. Because I mean, Charles is still Charles. I know he's not this, what you've seen in the past, but the what if is still there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's the UFC, man. Anything could happen. It's 300. The name's big. The event's big.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really could I see a pathway. You know what I mean? Especially at a plus 190 or whatever you said it was. I like it. I like a little sprinkle.
There's a pathway, but I'd be willing to get some extra monny. That
I do like the knockout though for Arman. If you can find
or submission, you
submission,
get knockout or submission instead of minus 200, and now you're down.
If you could do under,
also the under on the rounds is also a very smart pick on that one as well. Here's one that's fun. Both these guys had title shots in 2022, and they both won both their fights in 2023. Justin Gaethje and Max Holloway. So it's currently minus 170 for Gaethje. Holloway is plus 142 to 150 to 137. How you want to play it? So close fight here. Interesting the way these two guys fight. Obviously, Gaethje wants to keep it upright. Max Holloway has no problem going to the ground, making it dirty. That's kind of what he does, how he made a career. I'm going to go ahead and say I may take the plus 150 here on Holloway to win in a decision. I think this goes the distance. I like Holloway in this one.
I don't mind
Who
that.
do you got?
I just
think he's more well-rounded for Gaethje.
Sure.
And Gaethje, he's shown that his takedown defense can be good, but I think Holloway can put it away.
I feel you. I mean, look, for me, I think that
the winner gets a title bout again, by the way.
No, yeah, this is a huge fight. This is a very big fight.
Yeah.
Holloway did this for a reason, and I think you hit it on the nail. I think that if it goes to decision, I think it's Max Holloway because of what Holloway produces. I think if it gets, if it's an early finish or something like that, it's Justin Gaethje being Justin Gaethje.
Holloway has a 46%. Holloway has a 46% win rate by decision.
It's interesting.
46.
I like the plus odds. He'll definitely be in a DFS lineup of mine. I think the big, like I said, big name, big card, big event, anything could happen.
Well, that's the thing is, I think in Holloway in DFS to win by decision is kind of boring because you go all 3 rounds. He still wins, so you get the win points in the 3 round, but he's not going to put up a lot of strikes.
Well, I mean, you never know. I mean, Max Holloway, like he breaks records on significant strikes sometimes.
He's more of a he can, but Gaethje will.
Now, see, that's what my question is. I don't know how they're going
7.35 significant strikes landed per minute for Gaethje.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting, but I like what you're calling at the decision because I do.
That's where the grappling and everything comes into play here is in Holloway's favor. So boring, but that's the way he's going to win. Like it's very two contrasting styles here, right? So from a DFS standpoint, you may like Gaethje better and hope that he gets the knockout. Yeah. But as a gambling aspect, you may want to take Holloway as plus odds to just win by decision because I think that this will go decision. Why not?
Next 2 are easy for me.
Yeah, well, obviously, this one's fun because I'm surprised these 2 women have never fought. You would think it would have happened a long time ago.
Yeah.
Obviously, they've both been dominant. for a minute,
Mm-hmm.
but the odds are crazy. It's really in favor of Zhang Weili. And she's been obviously, I don't know, when was the last time she lost? Jeez, it's been a while. But when you look at all the stats here, they're very Spider-Man meme-ish in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
The only advantage Zhang Weili has, and it's a good one over Yan Zihoan, is this. Her takedown average is 2.29 per fight.
Yep.
But the accuracy is only 42%. And the takedown defense for Yan is 70%. So there's that little advantage there. But why are the odds so in the favor of Weili here? I don't like it. Minus 485, minus 430, minus 455, plus 380, plus 300.
I don't think
I know this is her 7th title fight. I get it. And the only person who's really given her any trouble is Rose Namajunas like a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She beat her twice.
Yeah, no, I think if it stays on the feet, it's really freaking interesting.
But they're 24-3 and she's 17-3. I think she has a better shot than plus 380.
Mm-hmm.
Now, plus Weili hasn't fought for a while, right? It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you said this one's a no-brainer. So what's your no-brainer here? Tell me.
I definitely I have Zhang Weili winning this fight. I think that she's just too good. However, though,
and this is a 5-rounder, right? So it'll be. So my guess is going to be a 4.5 over under.
Mm-hmm. I like that. I think
You like the over or the under on that?
Me personally, I like the over. I don't think
I
it
do too.
finished at all.
I think this goes 5 rounds.
Yeah, I think there's a pathway to Zhang laying on her. Completely laying. If she gets her down, she'll lay. Like she does.
But Jan's takedown defense is one of the best in women's martial arts.
Yeah, that's where it's interesting. Because if it stays on the feet, it should not. If they knew it was going to stay on the feet, it shouldn't be plus 380. Because that's crazy. Yeah,
here's on the feet. Okay. Well, actually, do we talk about this? Significant strikes landed per minute. Weili 5.94. Yan 5.55. Spider-Man meme. So significant strike percentage, 51% Weili, 44 Spider-Man meme. Absorbed 3.44, 5.56 Spider-Man meme. Defense 53, 61 Spider-Man meme.
Yep.
Standing up, it's a fair fight.
Yeah.
Standing up, it's a fair fight. However, on the ground, the takedown and the accuracy and everything is in Weili's favor. However, one of the best takedown defenses in, like I said, women's mixed martial arts is Jan's.
Yeah.
So if Weili does lay on her for 3 rounds, she obviously wins. It's going to go over 4.5. I think my best bet is over 4.5. I think these two women scrap it out and go the distance.
I like that.
All right, let's answer our fans' question here. Alex Pierre and Jamal Hill for the light heavyweight title of the world. Minus 155 opening for Alex Pierre. Plus 130 for Jamal Hill. I'll let you go first, my friend.
I'm very quick.
The odds have already moved quickly.
I'll be fast.
I'll
let you go ahead because Alex Pierre. Actually, it's not even close. Alex Pierre is winning this fight. It's not even close. Yeah, I don't think it's close at all. I think Jamal Hill's coming off surgery. This is Pierre's division. He's gonna rock it for a long time. Don't get me wrong, Hill is a great fighter, and there are pathways to success. Alex Pierre is a machine. This dude is an animal.
Recently,
If they are on the feet, I really don't see a pathway to success for Jamal Hill. I'm all over Pierre and probably all of my lineups.
Pierre is 9-2. 88% of those were a win by knockout or TKO. He's never won by submission. By the way, can we just take submission and can we just take takedowns out of this fight? Neither one of these guys are going to the ground.
Yeah.
They're not.
I think minus 145 is kind of crazy too. I think he deserves to be at least minus 190, minus 195. So
significant strikes landed per minute. Pierre, 5.00. Jamal Hill, one of the best in mixed martial arts in significant strikes, 7.31. However, he only has a 54% rate of hitting them, whereas Pierre, 62%.
And it's a lot stronger from Pierre. A lot.
It is. And he also has the kickboxing element to his game too with the feet. And that's what you don't see in the odds. Or, I'm sorry, the odds, the stats, is the kicks and all that stuff like that, which strikes include. So if he could wear down the legs of Jamal Hill, I could see him winning. I don't think this one goes the distance. I'm taking the under.
I was gonna ask you, what's your props round wise? What round are you aiming for?
I think this goes 2-3. I think he beats up his legs in the first two, gets him in a position, and
I was gonna say under 3.5.
Get him out. Because if you get Jamal Hill, yeah, he has one loss, right? But also the surgery is a big aspect of this as well.
Yep.
If you get him to a point where he has to throw those significant strikes, he has to be that big boxer, he has to let it all or nothing because you won the first 2 rounds by leg kicking and staying your distance, knock him out. And Pierre we've been against him on this show in the past, and he does nothing but prove us wrong. So I'm taking the under, but also I'm not going to take the odds for him to win outright. I'm taking the odds for TKO or submission. They're the same. You get plus 110 on those.
I like that. I love that. It's gonna happen. This fight is not going the distance.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a big fan of Pierre. I'm not. I like Jamal Hill too, but I'm just looking at the stats, looking at how it is, and I think it's gonna be great. Did I tell you I will be in South Lake Tahoe for this on Saturday at the Golden Nugget live betting this whole ordeal?
That'll be
while
sick.
watching.
That'll be
Woo!
sick.
We're gonna have some fun, my friend.
Hopefully
So there you have it. Last ranter.
Yes, sir.
Last question. We're both taking Pierre.
Alex Pieta. Hammer him.
Hammer him for TKO or submission. Or you probably get more odds if you just did TKO. I think you could. DraftKings won't allow you, but there are. I think Caesars you can do.
If you could do specific
knockout.
TKO and it's anything plus
you're gonna get plus even better odds on that. Probably not as much because everyone knows this.
I would say
not
like
going
250
to submission.
maybe, like 250, 300 max.
Yeah,
around there. But I'd hammer that. I'd absolutely hammer it. It's great value.
Yeah. So remember, it was Adesanya. If Hill goes to Adesanya's playbook against Pierre, he may have a chance to win. But
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Hill is not Adesanya.
Exactly. Yeah.
He is now the same game. So it'll be interesting. It's going to be a boxing match. It's going to be a kickboxing match. And guess who's the best kickboxer in mixed martial arts right now? Alex Pierre. So there you go. Yeah,
the surgeries are what bothers me.
Air horn. Yeah.
If it wasn't for the surgeries too, I'd be on him a little bit more. But the surgery bothers me. It really does.
So there you have it. UConn is dominating. And I am sad because it is 41-34 with 16 minutes left. My prediction of Purdue is not good. And they're being out-rebounded and offensive rebounded with Zach Edey.
Damn.
43-34. 9-point game with 16
system
to go. Anything can happen. We'll see how it all plays out.
You got +7 right now.
Thomas, tell everyone where they can find you.
Yeah, at Better Thomas on all social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, all of them. But please send the questions into either Twitter or Instagram. Love UFC. We love UFC, so send the UFC questions. Big 300. UFC. Big 300, man.
Big 300 that honestly I think could be bigger, but they kind of win this one. Bo Nickel. 5-0 in the pay-per-view event.
$10 to win 50 cents.
1,400. Stupid. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, my friend. Well, we'll catch you next week for the NBA special.
Yes, sir.
We'll get some guests on and talk.
Yeah, I'll text
our
Nick.
brackets, and we're going to have a lot of fun. Yeah, see what old Nicky is up to.
We'll see.
He wants
to
come talk some NBA playoffs and bet some money.
Yes, sir.
Bet some money and win some money. Which you can win some money too if you go to MoneyRants.com for picks. Send us your questions, catch up on old shows, or just say, what up, Better Thomas? All right, everybody. It's been fun tonight, huh? We talked about Rashid Rice being an asshole. We showed one of the greatest baseball plays of all time in the Savannah Bananas doing a backflip one-handed catch. We talked WrestleMania. We talked Caitlin Clark and how the WNBA has a seriously predicament ahead of them on how they're going to market her the right way. We talked about the NCAA championship. And I cannot wait for one shining moment. A tear in my eye every time. Better Thomas, every time. For myself and Heavy T and our boy Better Thomas here, Thomas Stevens from Monday Night Rants crew, we love you guys. Episode 80 is coming next week, baby. Enjoy the rest of the game. Enjoy your week. And as always, shout out to our boy, Tosh McGinn.